Do you like the show and you want to make your own? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. They're creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create. Now, Anchor is going to distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast. No minimum listenership needed. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome in to the Monday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. They have parked us today. We are parked for The Drive here at Pullman Square. Later on this evening, the Huntington Highlanders, your reigning and soon-to-be defending state champions in Class AAA football, will make their way to the staging area at Pullman Square to be honored by city officials. And, of course, you're welcome to come down. It begins at 6 o'clock, and I'll be here. Your master of ceremonies, Jason Toy, is here as well. How'd you get that job?
I have no idea. They called me up and said, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "All right, no problem."
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Jason.
Go have some fun with Billy Seals.
Yeah, he's just still excited.
Yeah,
I mean, he's loving life right now. I mean, this is everything he wanted. He wanted to bring a championship to Huntington, and he built a program. He didn't do it by a flash in the pan. This wasn't, okay, we're going to do it, and we're going to take shortcuts. Mm-hmm. He built a program. This is a contender every single year now, thanks to Billy Seals.
Well, he built, it's the old adage, you build it and they will come. He built it, they came, because you got to go back to when Billy got here.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, you had
apathy,
small numbers, wasn't enthusiasm, the city or, the region wasn't involved with it, and Billy has built that up, and that's what's pretty special indeed. And, we were talking around the station the other morning and I look at it this way, when you combine Huntington, Spring Valley, Cabell, Midland, on the West Virginia side of things here, we've got some great coaches that have built long-term legacies here for, these programs, which is great. That's what you want to see, and Huntington finally has theirs, and I say that, and I'm not shunning anybody. Like, I think Melvin Cunningham's doing a heck of a job at Fairland, building the program up over there. Chesapeake is doing the same thing.
Ironton,
we just saw. Yeah, we can never forget Ironton. And then, you look down in Kentucky, too, with some of the great play. I mean, we got a great region when it comes to high school football, especially the coaches.
It's underrated, plus we're seeing more of an effort now to get these players noticed. There's better recruiting in this area. We have several individuals who have D1 aspirations, and rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's a better football area. I think it's because, as you mentioned, you have coaches that are doing it right. We are developing talent. At the same time, all the coaches that we are involved with, they care about the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't some, real-life Friday Night Lights. This is a group of coaches that care about developing young men and building programs for the community.
Yep.
And imagine if we had Huntington, Spring Valley, and Cabell Midland just on the West Virginia side. If we had more of that talent together in one school, as some areas have.
A mega school.
Oh, a mega school. That's not going to happen, though.
Yeah.
We've done the consolidation now here because Huntington High, of course, part of Huntington East and Huntington High. Mm-hmm. And basketball has always been very, very good for Huntington. Football, however, it's been a while for East and High, and you have numbers to highlight how long it's been.
Yeah, you look at things on this, and we were crunching numbers earlier today. You go back, the old Huntington High School, the old Huntington High.
Huntington High,
Huntington High.
Pony Express.
Pony Express. 8-time champions. Started back in 1909.
I wasn't there.
Last year, 1934.
Wasn't there either. Was not there for those.
So 1909, 12, 17, 22, 23, 28, 30, and 34. So those are the 8 championships for the old Huntington High School.
Dynasty, a dynasty back in the day.
Yes, it was. That was so. And then you look at it, the last championship for a Huntington school, not counting Huntington Vincent back in the old days. I'm talking about just Huntington, in the city of Huntington.
You're talking in Cabell County.
Well, I'm talking the city of Huntington right now.
City of Huntington. Okay, city of Huntington.
88 years since the last championship.
Football
championship.
Okay.
Last football championship. In Cabell County, 69 years, because the last team to win in Cabell County was Barbersville in 1953. So you've got that. Now here's the other one. You got to add more state championship to it. When you look at it, Frederick Douglass, 75 years ago, they won their championship. 1947 was their last one that they won here. So had a lot of champion titles back in the early 1900s.
Predating us.
Predating all of us. I mean, Mike Coger might have been around for the last
Woody
one.
Woodrum probably was around. He was watching from afar in Winfield.
Yeah. So it was. So it was the old champions days when it comes to high school football here, but now it's back. I mean, you look at the last handful of years and you look at it, Huntington High, been to the state title game. You know what? This was the third time they've been there.
Third time.
So second time as a run. They were two-time runner-up. Cabell Midland got there in 2020. And had a couple of runs there too. They haven't pulled out theirs first one yet, but they've got talent.
Yeah, they'll get theirs.
Spring Valley been there. Starting to build that deal up too. So it's a great talent pool here. It's been great. Like I said, I praise the coaches. I think that what they have built, and you talked about building for the team, they've built it for the communities. And that's the thing. You look at it. I remember going to Huntington High games, and back in the late '90s, after the consolidation.
Right.
You had everybody bickering back and forth about the St. Joe and Huntington East, Huntington High.
Right. Yeah, because there should have been Pony Express, but we won't relive those old wounds and scars. We won't bring that back up.
So once all that was done, and you go back to looking in the 2000s here, you went to a Huntington High game. There was a lot less kids on the sideline, and there was not a lot of people in the stands.
Yeah, because it was new.
Yeah.
There's no attachment from the community just yet. And the kids, it was new.
And even that, I know Woody Woodrum will talk about this too, is the fact that you go back and look, when Billy got here, there wasn't a lot. I mean, there was not a lot of people turning out for games. There wasn't the amount of numbers that they had turning out for the team to come out and play.
One of the largest schools, by the way, in the state.
So I think what Billy has built has been the fact that he has built not only a program for the team, for the boys, because the numbers are up. You look at it, how many kids are out there now, how many kids are out there lifting weights.
Now.
Now, starting for next year.
I mean, right now.
Yeah. But you will look at what he did for the community, or what they've done, this program has done for the community. You go to a game here the last couple of years, packed house there at Huntington High on the stands, which was great to see. And I know a lot of years folks were looking up there at Bob Stang Stadium and not seeing that place is filled in as it has been the last couple of years.
So now it's an event. It's a Friday night event, because you've had people who have gone through now, and you have not that divide anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though the nickname should be still Pony Express, there's not that divide anymore. It's all the Huntington Highlanders now.
It's the same thing when you look at it in Barbersville and Milton.
Right.
They still think it should be, the Pirates should still be the name of the Cabell Midland High School.
Right.
So.
I get it. Understand.
Spring Valley Battle should be still Buffalo. Should be.
Right. Yeah. So you don't have that really anymore. It's become a community once again, and you have a tradition that is being built. You have a championship caliber team on a yearly basis now. And, of course, you should always support the kids, and you should support the program, win or lose, because, ultimately, it's for some of these kids, this will be the last time.
Yeah.
And for some, they're going to move on to college and have great careers. But for a lot of these kids, this will be the last time. For some of those kids, this might be the first and only championship that they win. So it's always great to support them and be a part of it.
It's funny, the other day when Billy was at the studio, I asked him, I said, have you ever coached a first-round draft pick? And he said he got real excited and the big old smile, and I said, no, but I'm excited about this one. And, of course, talking about, with down in Tennessee, he says he's going to go down to the Orange Bowl this year and watch that final game down there. I think that's pretty cool. Now, this is a guy that has come in. He's won a championship now. He's got a kid that's going to be going on to the NFL. It could be in a first-round draft pick in the NFL.
Could be.
I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Billy's has done a heck of a job here with this program. And like I said, I go back and I go look at all three. Billy, Luke Salmons, and you look down at Brad Dingus down at Spring Valley. Our region is blessed with some great coaches.
Let's just next championship do this inside.
Next celebration.
What were we thinking?
Yeah.
What were we thinking here? We could do it. You know what? What are we doing today at the arena? That's a staging area. No, next year we should all stage over there.
I was going to say that I think they just got done doing the graduation over there.
Oh, you know what? It's perfectly set up. Just leave the chairs and leave everything set up.
Leave the podium there.
Leave the podium, the screen. Just leave it there for an extra day. We could have concessions. We sold concessions for this thing today.
Oh, well.
Jason Toy's going to be the master of ceremonies. That means you have the huge responsibility to bring Steve Williams up on stage. That's a big responsibility.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think it's going to be fun. And we've already got some of the parents that's coming out here. It's going to be a packed place here tonight. And it's not a huge, long event, so if you're coming out here, it is chilly. It is a little cold out here, but we're going to be in and out of here. We'll be done here by 6:30, 6:40 at the latest, which is going to be great.
Get here early.
Yeah.
Get here early, and then you'll be here for 30 minutes.
Well, and they've already closed down 3rd Avenue.
Right.
So that's already closed down, so they'll be bringing the band down here and all that too. So we're looking forward to seeing them march in here.
We're here today at Pullman Square. It's quiet now, but in about 45 minutes it's going to be a lot louder. We will continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're here until 6 o'clock at Pullman Square. The Huntington Highlanders, the state champions, the reigning defending Class AAA champs, will be here soon, as they're going to be honored today. We're here at Pullman Square because this is where you publicly bring people to talk about Sunday football. This is where you bring them. When you want to talk Sunday football, you want to talk Bengals, Browns, you bring all of that to the town square to air it out. Woody Woodrum, well-known Browns fan, here today with me. How about that? The streak is broken. Joe Burrow got that monkey off his back.
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
After 4 straight.
I mean, beating Patrick Mahomes 3 times straight wasn't enough. You had to beat the Browns one time. One time.
And Paul, I will say this honestly. Whenever you go and see the Bengals in the past, say before 2 years ago, you would always see a ton of Browns fans there. A ton of people in the orange and brown instead of the orange and black.
Uh-huh.
And you watched that crowd the other night, and in every section, hey, there's a Browns fan here, there's a Browns fan there. There's maybe 2 in the end zone together. But they were pretty spread out. There weren't a lot of tickets available, and the Bengal fans have finally gotten behind that program big time. And
have you seen the ticket prices? You seen the ticket prices? I mean, come on.
know.
Let's be honest. You got to take out a small loan to begin with to get those tickets.
You got to be a nut to be an NFL ticket holder to begin with.
Yeah, you do.
Those outfits they come with, they truly believe the team wins or loses because you wear a Bengal striped suit, because you wear shoulder pads and a cat's head. I mean, there's just – and the Browns fans, they're even worse in the dog pound. So, yeah, I mean, NFL fans take it to a whole nother level. They talk about college football and rivalries and all that.
No.
I mean, they're in their towns, that's why I confuse people because
That's an understatement.
I'm a Browns fan.
Yes,
but
you
I'm
are.
a Cincinnati Reds fan.
Yeah, go figure. How's that work? It doesn't.
If you grew up in Charleston like I did,
yeah, okay,
then you would have had the Browns on every single week that they played because Art Modell had a national TV contract for the Browns. So home or away, we saw the Brownies play. And the same thing, the Reds were on about 70 or 80 games a year on WSAZ. So I grew up with the Reds on the radio in Charleston and on TV. Grew up with the Browns on every single Sunday in my youth. And everybody except my best friend across the street, who was a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Why?
Everybody on the west side was Cleveland Browns fan. Well, that's just my boy Mikey.
I gotcha. Okay, Tim Stevens, are you a Browns fan or a Bengals fan?
Actually, I grew up a Raiders fan.
Okay, so
which was a great idea in 1975.
I should turn this microphone back down. Tim Stevens, HC Media, has wandered over here. Are you still a Raiders fan?
Yeah, Raiders and Reds. Like I said, that was a great idea when I was a kid. Now, not so much. So,
man, can I
that's the way it goes.
Can I get a Bengals fan on this show? Can I get one?
Well, sure.
Where's the city's communications director? Chambers. I know Chambers is a Bengals fan.
Bengals were my kind of second team.
Oh, your second team.
Yeah.
By the way, has anyone checked on the columnist? Is Mr. Landon doing okay? I mean, the Browns lost yesterday. Is he doing okay?
He's used to it.
You know, the only thing I appreciated about that game was
over?
two things. WOWK actually carried it instead of the Ravens and the Steelers.
Very smart.
With those decisions coming out of Morgantown, sometimes we don't see the right game.
No. I've been assured by Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Spencer Atkins that is totally the NFL that's determining that. Totally.
Yeah. Well, we'll let that story go.
Yeah,
but that meant that I got to stay at home, and so my son and his buddy Xavier came over and got all the Christmas stuff down.
Oh.
Now, it is a 3-day event. By the time you decorate the inside, and then you work your way to the outside. And last night, or after the Browns lost, I steamed through 5 hours of completing the outdoors. Now, my knee hurts like I've been jogging one-legged on AstroTurf right now. But I worked through it and got it all up, and I was so happy. And so it did work that way. It inspired me to work hard.
Well, I'm glad that the Bengals could do that for
yes,
you.
Yes, they did.
So we're here today not only to publicly humiliate Woody for the Bengals beating the Browns. No, we're not here for that. Tim Stevens is here. So there's something happening today here, Tim? What are you doing here today?
I just came down for dinner. I heard you were buying. That's what Woody told me anyway.
Have you met my boss? And let me show you my paycheck one time. And then you'll be paying for my dinner.
Have you met my boss?
Yeah. Look, you guys should be getting all those raises now that you guys have freed up a lot of that Grant trailer money.
That was big bucks too,
right?
Man, I tell you.
Right.
That was
I mean, you guys are splitting that up evenly between you and Creasy, right?
Like
Lou Creasy.
Yeah, it was like a Justin Verlander contract Grant had. You know,
right.
I mean, Luke and I should really be in big money now.
I'm just saying the prices of the newspaper should go down now that you don't have that major contract.
That's right. Absolutely so. But all the women are going to buy it now that Grant's gone. I don't know. We'll see.
I've lost control. We're here today at Pullman Square. Paul Swann with you. I've got Woody Woodrum, who has seen the Highlanders all season long. Got Tim Stevens, who has covered high school football for a long time now.
Long time.
Where do you rate this Huntington High team on the annals of teams you've covered and seen?
Oh gosh, they're definitely a top 10 team. Now, do I count all the teams I've seen, like the Molars of the world, and
Okay, we'll filter it then.
Okay.
If tri-state teams, of teams that are important to us in this region, and you don't count Moeller, so they're pretty good though.
Right, they are pretty good.
Yeah.
Gosh, you got to have them top 5 and maybe top 3. I mean, Ironton had some really, really good teams that won state championships. So they were really good, and Huntington and East and Barbersville had some teams that were really good too, just didn't win state championships. But yeah, I'd rate Huntington up. This team probably in the top 3. Ironton in '89 was awfully good, and they've had a couple of teams since, but this one will be right there with them. I think if you put them on the field, it'd be a toss-up.
But Ironton in '89 didn't win the championship.
But not 99. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
99.
Right. It was '99, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's because they won in '79 and.
No, it was 89. It was 89.
Okay,
They beat Campbell Memorial.
Okay,
yeah.
79. So I'm thinking of the '99 team.
Okay, yeah, 99 didn't win it. And that was a great team too.
Okay,
yeah.
so
yeah, they were really good. That was really surprising.
E1 Swann.
Yeah, that might have been that team might have been better than either of the 2 state championship teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Kentucky we've had Raceland. Now it's class 6 or whatever it is. It's small football, but
Don't tell them that.
Nate McPeak got that thing rolling there, and they have carried on since he's moved on. And of course, he's having great success. He won a state championship a couple of weekends ago too. So
he did. And Ashland in 1990 when they had Chris Hupp and Juan Thomas and Charlie Johnson and all those guys, that was a really good football team too. So
Boyd County had some good teams. I know when Phil Ratliff was at Spring Valley, they had a couple guys who went to West Virginia and played.
Yeah, they sure did. Wheelersburg won a state championship. They were really good. So there have been some darn good football teams in this area.
So rate this championship. How important is this championship to Huntington? Not just the school, but how important is this championship?
I think it's enormous because all you ever hear is Martinsburg, Martinsburg, Martinsburg. And now, the state title was on this end of the state in this city at a school that had never won one before. And Huntington's always been the city of champions, as Mayor Williams calls it. But Huntington had never won one in football. Now they get to put up one of those green and gold signs up on the hill alongside the tennis and girls basketball and boys basketball and wrestling and all that. They get to put up a football one now. That's huge. That's something that these guys will never forget as long as they live. They can't take that away from them.
It's a very small senior class, only 10 guys, really 5 that are impact guys and making, playing every down and doing that kind of thing. But they have totally bought into what Billy Seals is preaching. And it got away from them last year. And they had a bad 5 minutes at the end of the second quarter, and the game was all over because Martinsburg is that good. If they can get rolling, looks like the basketball team, the Herd, in their last 2 games. They get rolling on teams. They're getting backdoor dunks. They're getting alley-oops, and they are absolutely running away. That's what Huntington did this year. And, I was going through their numbers, and this is like number 1 in points and number 1 in yards. And then you flip to the defensive side, and it's number 1 in points allowed. And, I think it's the defense that doesn't get talked enough about, and that's because Zaza Jackson, Wayne Harris, and Gavin Locko had a season for the ages. I think this team was like the 96 Herd. It was pretty good, and then it got a guy named Wayne Harris, and that kid is special. Receiver. He just makes plays that you can't believe. He's the first 1,000-yard receiver in the history, going back to 96, of the new Huntington High. And I'll tell you, he's an incredible player. And Jackson had a big year. So did Gavin Locko, running over 1,000 yards and passing for 3,000 yards. And, those guys are going to get headlines. I mean, 2 of those 3 are coming back. Zah's still got 2 more seasons to play.
Thankfully, we don't have a transfer portal in high school sports. Not yet. Got name, image, and likeness. No transfer portal.
That's right.
We'll take that.
That's right. It's probably coming. I wouldn't surprise me in the least. But Woody made a great point with Harris. And you look at the championship game, and, he's known as a receiver. But on Parkersburg South's first drive, Harris picks off a pass, and that just kind of set the tone.
It really did. They had him down for 12. When I looked at the tape, I came up with 13 tackles he was in on.
Wow.
And he had the fumble recovery, and he had an interception. Right. Yeah, he caught some balls. It wasn't anything that probably coaches that were looking at it went, wait a minute, where's the specialness of this guy? But that was a tough game, and again, defense took a team that was averaging 60 points a game in the postseason after averaging 49 points in the regular season. They got 3. And, I mean, they hurt themselves, sure. Penalties, it was incredible. I can't remember many teams that I've seen that have had that kind of rut of penalties that they can't seem to stop doing.
Oh, it was incredible.
And they did it all year.
They did. They did it all year and still won. Oh, you can't do that in a state championship game.
No.
The Friday before, Huntington wins it on Saturday. Friday before, covered Ironton against South Range. Ironton had 92 yards in penalties, and I'm thinking, gee, Manee, that's
going to kill them. That's going to come get them.
Yeah, that's killer. Now come down on Friday or on Saturday and cover Parkersburg South, and they have 135 yards in penalties.
Yeah,
that's just astounding. You can't do that and win a state championship game.
No, and it was some bad penalties too. It wasn't just like it was offsides and. No, they had personal fouls and all sorts of things.
Remember, Huntington had been there. I mean, sure, it was last year, but Huntington had gotten to the point where this was not, okay, we're here. Yeah, sure.
Now let's finish.
Yeah, that program has won before. But those kids, this was a new situation for those kids, whereas this Huntington High team went up there. A little bit different mindset now. Now you've been there. Now you got a different mindset about it. It's not bright lights. It's not big stage. It's this is the team in front of us. We got to take them out to get this championship.
And I was stunned to hear that Parkersburg South waited till the morning of the game and came up.
Yes.
I mean, who does that?
No.
Who doesn't want to be on the field or be in the town? Coach said they thought they would avoid all the hoopla and everything. That might be the only time they ever get there. You never know if you're getting back. Right. Anything can happen in an off season, and for them to just bust in, play, and go home, that has to be kind of hollow. So I think that was a huge mistake by the coach. And I mean, I like getting there. We remember the UCF coach that decided to stay in Charleston, where the Laidley Field was a little flatter than the old Joan used to be. And they threw the balls over the head of their receivers all
Nobody knows
day.
about that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about that crown.
I mean, the crown. Yeah.
Nobody knows about that.
And
Tim, no, you didn't write about that, did you?
Knows about what?
No, exactly. You were there.
Jim Donnan loved it. He liked to run downhill.
Yes, he did.
We're here today at Pullman Square. I've got a couple of very cold individuals with me. Tim Stevens from HD Media. No Luke Creasy? No Luke today, huh?
Yeah, Creasy, he's around here doing something.
Okay.
He'll find something to do.
All
I'm
right,
sure,
we'll get him
bowl
down
game
here.
Or something,
Woody Woodrum's here as well. We'll continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're here today under the tent next to the big dog at Pullman Square. Welcome back. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. I have appropriated Tim Stevens from HD Media. He's here. I have Woody Woodrum. He just helped himself. He's here.
Jason Torrey said be here. I said when.
You listen to that guy?
Yeah.
You always listen to that guy?
Well, I mean, I didn't know what to do, so I just showed up, and he said go here, and I was
Just
like,
go
okay.
here.
I thought maybe I had to walk down with the team or something.
Yeah.
I was really not looking forward to that.
So we're here today at Pullman Square, and by the way, number 20's mom is here. She just brought me a beverage.
Mrs. Miller?
Landon Miller's mom is here.
Yeah.
She's the mother of a state champion now.
And also
With her-
the leader on the team this year in special teams tackles. Yep. He takes it personal if he doesn't get the punt returner, kick returner down.
Yeah, see, I have to, Tim, you don't understand this since I don't want to make her mad. I have to make sure that Woody, mentions his name on the radio.
You keep Mama happy. That's
Keep
the
Mama,
plan,
I
always.
keep Mama happy at all times.
And he's a fun kid at practice, too. He'll talk to you, joke with you a little bit. So, yeah, I like Landon.
Good.
Hey, you know what? He's coming back, by the way.
Yes.
He's coming back.
That's what I say. Only 10 guys are gone.
Yeah.
Now, Locko's a huge loss. And you're losing a couple of very good linemen.
Yeah.
And really three, and Gavin Atkins, Jesse Atkins, not related. Wyatt Atkins is the one related to Jesse, and he is coming back. He started at left guard in this game, and then they moved Robbie to center, which I think is a perfect place for him to play. Now, he needs a little work on the snap. I couldn't believe that he, against Martinsburg and Parkersburg South, he had a few snaps that weren't very good, also in practice. When they took him 2 days before the Midland game and said, you're playing center, didn't have one missed snap the entire night against a team that was coming on every single play. And, so he's done a whale of a job there, and hopefully that will perk up some ears recruiting-wise to see, play left tackle and center. That's a pretty good combination.
Tim, you've been covering area high school football for a long time now. That's polite for saying you're old and you've been around.
41 years I've been covering.
That's very polite for saying you've been around a long time.
I have indeed.
How good is the talent now in this area? Is it just now being discovered? Has it always been this good, or has the talent in this area gotten better to the point now you have more Division I offers coming this way?
Yeah, I think it has gotten better. Not that there haven't been great ones in the past. Sure, there've been a lot of D1 kids who have come out of here, but teams are noticing this area more, and two, it's better. And that's just like with anything. The weight training is better now. The conditioning, kids eat right now, where maybe they didn't before. It's all year-round training, where that wasn't the case for so often. And now kids here are just a lot better. But it's just astonishing still to see the number of athletes who have signed to play in college around here. If every Tuesday I write my prep notebook column, and it's full of recruiting news. If you took that 30 years ago when I did it, there would be 2 inches. Now it's 6, 8, 10 inches of just recruiting news.
Yeah, Gavin Atkins just got an offer from Thomas More College, and he's very excited about that. That's where Billy Lyon worked a couple of years after he came out of the NFL down in Kentucky. And I can't believe that. And it's odd, Paul, that I think what Steve has done here in Huntington and what the Cabell County Commissioners have done in the county at large. They've certainly made it a better place to come to, better place to live in. And we've got warts, just like any size town this size has. But, you look at the Kanawha Valley, and it's hard to believe what has happened to South Charleston and to Capital and to Riverside and to St. Albans. St. Albans never used to have championship talent, but they were scrappy. They played you hard. But all those chemical plants shutting down up and down the valley have really destroyed those towns and the Kanawha Valley area. I mean, they're kind of propped up by having the state government there, which is a lot of white-collar jobs. I don't know that that's really bringing in talent and kids. You hope it is, but, a lot of your kids got to be lunch bucket kids and kids that parents work hard and make things happen. And I tell you, I think Billy Seals fights that uphill a little more than maybe Spring Valley and Midland, even Hurricane does. Sure. Because it is the inner city, and there are one-parent family and no-parent families and grandmothers and aunts raising kids and doing that stuff. And I think one of the things I saw all season long was how underestimated I thought Huntington was out there in the social media. I mean, as soon as they wallop Jefferson, well, they're going to go down to Martinsburg. There's no way they can play with it.
Well, because Martinsburg has built up that mystique. It's almost mythological just about because they've been so successful. But they've got a great program.
But for the last 5 games, they can't beat Hurricane, no way. They can't beat Jefferson, no way. They can't beat Martinsburg, not in a million years. Well, now they're not going to beat Parkersburg South, and they give them 3 points. I think the kids feed on that a little bit. Billy
said that because remember one of the reporters covering South said that Parkersburg South got too many weapons for the Highlanders.
Too many weapons. That was the key phrase all week long.
Too many weapons. Too many weapons, and they shut them down. They took it personal.
They did.
They're probably mad that they gave up 3 points instead of pitching a shutout. They're probably mad about the 3.
Yes.
Yeah, because it wasn't like a 3 at the end where it's it was a 3 early and they had the early lead.
Yeah.
The fans were going crazy. And we went, it's just 3-0. I mean, easy now.
Really, it's been a phenomenal job Billy Seals has done out there. He has it. What you said about the Kanawha Valley too. When East Bank and DuPont consolidated, I thought nobody else is ever going to win anything. No. But look, but now Riverside's not very good.
Yes.
How does it happen? And it's economics.
Yeah, it's totally economics because you have less population now. Kids are moving away. Families and parents are moving away. I mean, you think Spring Valley, Wayne County. It's pretty solid there. I mean, it's not depleted. You don't see a mass exodus. So in certain pockets, and of course, you have consolidation that helped, and you have really tight knit communities. So why is Ironton so successful even at its size? Because it's a tight knit community. Sure. And so Huntington has become, from the football side, a little bit more tight knit.
And one of the other things is, like Beckley, okay, they've been down and it was hard to figure because they've always got athletes. They're always good in other sports, but they just couldn't win in football for 10 years. You know what, though? They moved WVU Tech there, and I guarantee you, with college comes young people and professors and people like you see out in Spring Valley area, living here in Huntington, living out toward Barbersville, Milton. I mean, it's somewhere people want to be, and I think that kind of economic engine helps you to attract other people, other jobs. Now you've got the engineering school right there in the middle of whatever is going on with mining and gas drilling and all that. So it's a perfect handshake, and I think, Beckley's going to profit from that. Montgomery is a ghost town. They could, last person out could lock the door because there's hardly anything going on there now.
Yeah, it is. You look at Portsmouth and you see a lot of the same thing that you see in the Kanawha Valley. And Portsmouth used to beat everybody and everything. They were great. They had athletes just on top of athletes. Their bench was better than most people's starters. But the economic blight that's kind of hit down there in Sauter County too, and at least in the Portsmouth part of Sauter County, people are moving out to the suburbs and such, and that's really hurt Portsmouth High, and which is a lot of what's going on with Capital Riverside and, some of those schools, up in the valley.
God bless Carl Lee and Mark Mason and those other coaches up there, because they're trying to figure out how they can get some kids out. And, then you have the death of the youngster up there. 3 blocks from where I lived. That's how close that was to me. Glenwood and Central was where we caught the bus to go downtown.
Wow.
And so, it's just crazy that kind of stuff. And like I say, everybody has some of that stuff happening.
Sure.
But I think, it's just very tough with a tough town going on. And get those kids a capital to go out to the school, and then they've got to stay late. I know Huntington brings the TTA bus through there over the evening so they can get people down. Capital probably needs to look at that, too, to make sure kids can get home.
Final segment coming up. Paul Swann with you. We got Tim Stevens. We've kidnapped him from the HD media side of things. Woody Woodrum, he's just here. More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State. Sinners and Saints Bar is under new ownership. Stop on by and check out happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and other daily specials. If you're a sports fan, they have what you need, from DirecTV Sunday Ticket and any college, MLB, and NBA games.
And listen up. If you are a first responder, stop on by Sinners and Saints and check out the specials that they have for you.
Sinners and Saints Bar, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Sinners and Saints Bar, your home away from home. We're taking Paul Swann everywhere. Download or subscribe to The Drive with Paul Swann on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's our final segment today here at Pullman Square. Paul Swann, your host for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've got from HD Media Tim Stevens here to referee myself and Woody Woodrum. So you had to be here today because, we would have just went on and on and on about Bengals and Browns. He would have brought up that Joe Burrow hadn't beaten them like 500 straight or something like that.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, 4 straight or something like that. And, I would have just, just tossed the table over at that point.
Well,
and it came to blows. So you're here refereeing this.
Hey, we still got 10 minutes. It's potential.
My friends down at Bar None at 14th Street and 4th Avenue, that's where the Browns backers gather. And
now we know where they're at.
If the game's on locally, though, I can stay at the house. But they, last week, even some of them were very vocal about yelling at Deshaun Watson, and I'm going, really? The guy hadn't played a game in 2 years. And you thought he was going to come out here and Joe Namath it, just turn it around, 10 touchdown passes a game, and won't be any problem.
Because the NFL's so easy.
Yeah. You get the Eagles, and then it's kind of hard to explain how somebody can come out of nowhere and play like they are.
No.
But
by the way, unfortunately, the Steelers lost.
Yeah, that's.
I was actually rooting for this.
I know you were.
Rooting for the Steelers.
You wanted first place.
I did want first place. I was rooting for the Steelers.
I could never bring myself.
Browns and Raiders guy here. We're all against the Steelers.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was a little sick
in that.
I was a little sick to my stomach about that. Rooting for the Steelers. Not doing that.
It's tough to root for those guys, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't do that. So we're here. There are a lot of people gathering.
Yes,
because they're going to honor the Huntington Highlanders here in about the next 10 minutes, give or take. It's going to be about a 30-minute ceremony, give or take.
I'll tell you what, the wrestling team, the basketball teams, they're making notes here. Parade downtown, yes, so we want to see a part of that.
Indoors.
It's really great.
Yeah, indoors.
I mean, the Thursday before they took off on Friday to go up there, Steve Williams was at practice and talked to him about how proud Huntington was of the team and all that. And then, out of nowhere, Danny Darricott is there. Kool-Aid Owens, of course, defensive secondary coach, helping Billy Seals out. And he invited Danny to come out there and talk about finishing and finishing the game. And, of course, I looked at him. I went, Lucky Charms. He's like, this guy knows me from a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember they also had to take that box away from him. Remember that?
That's right.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, get that off the stage here.
Yeah, he'd been tearing it up right now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, wouldn't he now?
Yeah, name, image, likeness, Lucky Charms.
Born too early. He'd make big bucks today.
Yeah, but Danny was great with the kids. And, it's great to hear from kids, that look like you. And there's Danny Derricott, very successful, played in the NFL, played professional ball in other areas. And now he's helping out at Marshall and finishing up his academic stuff. And I think that's wonderful to come in there and talk to those kids. And they really, they were very, very much into it. And I was really surprised at, how Steve is completely different from Danny, but both of their messages were so important. We're proud of you. We're a town of champions. Steve is proud of saying, and he wants to put a parade on every single time anybody wins anything. And I think that enthusiasm is not going to go away. We've got 2 more years of him here in the town, and he's got a lot of work to do, and then he's got to decide where he's going to go. I hear there's a building up near the Capitol that's empty most of the time, and
there you go.
Are you offering to be his campaign manager?
I might be. I did shake his hand and tell him I might like to be involved. So, whatever he does.
Okay, so how much money have you pledged to the campaign so far?
Nothing yet,
Okay.
because he hasn't announced.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you're
Yeah.
waiting. I see.
Yes.
I was going to vote for Tim Stevens, but
Yeah, I live in Ohio, but that's not necessarily against the rules now.
yeah,
So
right, exactly. I was going to vote
That's
for
so bad.
I was going to vote for Tim Stevens, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
Only in West Virginia could we have somebody just came from another state and put their name in, and
Yeah.
the day before the election they catch her.
Yeah. You know what? No. Come on over.
Makes me glad I'm a sports writer and not in news,
Right, exactly. Again, we're in the toy box section.
Yeah,
we're in the toy
right.
store of life here.
Yes.
This is important, but it's just for fun.
There's a bunch of people who have told the journalism school, look, I didn't come here to be an investigative reporter.
Right.
I didn't come here to cover the student government. I want to cover football. I want to cover basketball. I want to cover the herd.
Yes.
I'll cover intramurals if you like. But please don't ask me to go to any more honor sessions or anything, because I don't want no part of that.
My first beat at the Parthenon, I had the College of Business and Marshall women's basketball. I think I wrote like 4 College of Business stories and 100 on Judy Southard and the
green
women.
gals, Lady Herd.
Yeah, Karen Pelfrey got in the paper a whole lot.
By the way,
Bob Alexander not so much.
By the way, I hear there's a Cub reporter now on the women's basketball beat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That guy showed up the other day, green behind the ears, and covered a game.
Didn't know what he was doing. Had to tell him where to go.
Yeah,
And tell him where the press room was.
Yeah, tell me what the press room was. It wasn't where it used to be. So.
Yeah, right. Like what? I got to climb these stairs.
Yeah,
I got to go up here.
Yeah, that's it. Make the old guy climb stairs. That's real good.
Do we have a table up there yet?
No,
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But we'll get there. So.
Okay.
Grant's going to smooth all that
Right.
out.
Yeah.
He'll
That's
take care of it.
See, that's what we've done. We've installed one of our own in Marshall.
That's it. We got a mole now.
Yeah, we got a
true.
mole now.
That's true.
Finally, we have one of our own in there.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, they got to him. No, they got to him.
It was weird going in there, and he's wearing Marshall gear, and
Right.
he's bringing Tony Kemper into the press conference.
Right,
And
yeah.
we're looking at each other like, what's this? Because we worked together so long in the newsroom. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, and now he's got to help you now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
That's a new experience, right?
Oh, yeah, where's he been the last 10 years? Oh, no, he's my buddy. He's my pal. I can pick on him, So that it is odd, though, seeing him on the other side of the media. But I'm happy for him, He'll do a good job there.
Our friend from HD Media, Tim Stevens, is with us here. And the next few minutes, very important dignitaries are going to take the stage to welcome on the Huntington Highlander football team. And it's been a long time coming to have a state champion in football be recognized. It's almost commonplace for basketball.
Yeah.
But football now, this is hopefully not just a once-in-a-lifetime event. Maybe this will be more of an occurrence than we've seen.
Tim, which has been the best sport up there? Now, throwing out the OJ and all that. Is it boys basketball? Is it girls basketball? Is it wrestling? or is it tennis, boys and girls?
Oh, gosh, they've been so dominant in all of it.
Yeah, John Mercer's had a lot to do with that, but they have been pretty good up there.
Yes, they sure have. Man, that's hard to pick one.
And the Archers on wrestling, I mean, got the wrestling tournament here in Huntington and have kept it by all accounts. People think it's done great, and that no one wants to move it.
No.
You don't hear any complaints about having to come to Huntington, and that's really special. I guess Wheeling does a great job. I haven't been up there yet, but it's a kind of small-time facility, And
it is, especially coming from Canton on Friday and then going to Wheeling on Saturday.
How night and day is that?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you got an NFL stadium. I mean, literally an NFL stadium.
You got an NFL stadium.
Skyboxes and everything.
To Wheeling Island Stadium.
Yes, which is...
What a travesty.
Oh, gosh. And, fine folks in Wheeling, but, boy, that's not a great facility.
And I mean, I'm watching Kentucky down at UK.
Yeah.
We have a couple of universities in this state.
Yeah, it sure looked good here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we are out of time, but the fun continues here at Pullman Square as the Huntington Highlander football team is going to be brought on stage here in just a few moments to be honored for winning the Class AAA state championship. Thank you to Tim Stevens, HD Media, hanging out here. Thank you to Woody Woodrum, my friend and pal. I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see everyone else. Well, I'll talk to everyone else tomorrow. This is radio still. Here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
West Virginia Metro News.